We all know Gaius Julius Caesar as an outstanding ancient Roman military commander and statesman. But beyond that, Caesar is one of the wealthiest individuals in human history. His advice on wealth and success remains as relevant as ever. People today still use his insights, often passing them off as their own. So today, we'll explore some of the oldest tips for achieving greatness in life straight from Julius Caesar. Over 2,000 years after his death, Julius Caesar remains one of history's most significant figures. His military and political achievements transformed ancient Rome and left a lasting legacy. Caesar was charismatic and sociable, easily drawing people to him. He was bold enough to take calculated risks in his pursuit of power. Caesar was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals. His legacy has left an enduring mark on the world, and his leadership style can teach us what it takes to achieve success. Be resilient. Throughout his career, Julius Caesar faced numerous challenges, including political opposition, military setbacks, and personal tragedies. Yet, he never gave up or lost his resolve. He dealt with each failure and emerged even stronger. One example of a crushing defeat Julius Caesar suffered was early in his political career when he lost the election for the position of high priest in 63 BC. This was a major setback for Caesar, as the position was highly desirable and would have given him significant political influence in Rome. However, Caesar didn't let this defeat affect him, and he continued to pursue his ambitions resolutely and persistently, eventually becoming one of the most powerful leaders in Roman history. We can learn resilience from Caesar by seeing challenges as opportunities for learning and growth rather than obstacles to be avoided. Take calculated risks. Julius Caesar was known for his willingness to take risks, but wisely. He understood that success often requires bold decisions, and playing it too safe can sometimes lead to failure. However, he also carefully assessed the risks and benefits of each decision before taking action. After crossing the Rubicon River and basically gaining control of Rome, Caesar's main rival became the powerful general Pompey. Instead of sitting idle and waiting for Pompey to make the first move, Caesar decided to take the fight straight to Pompey, chasing him clear across the Mediterranean. One of the biggest risks the Roman commander took was crossing the Adriatic Sea with a much smaller fleet than Pompey's. Despite this, Caesar used his knowledge of naval tactics to win several battles. Caesar's pursuit of Pompey was also a calculated risk, as he was invading unfamiliar territory. Despite all this, such actions became evident of Caesar's leadership qualities, military skill, and willingness to take risks. Be bolder, don't hide. Caesar said, "Cowards die many times before their actual deaths." Every time you stay silent at a meeting, every time you hold back out of fear, every time you're afraid to try something new, you miss opportunities that could potentially change your life. All successful business people have faced a series of wins and losses, and each will tell you their failures taught them more than their successes. Connect with people. Caesar grew up in politically turbulent times for his family, with factions carrying out bloody purges of political enemies. To escape threats to his life, he joined the army. Caesar served with distinction and became a popular and effective military commander. It was said that he knew the names of every soldier who fought alongside him. In his speeches, he called his soldiers comrades rather than men or warriors. The success of the Roman legions largely depended on the information troops had on the battlefield. Every centurion had as much information on the battle plan as Julius Caesar did. With his reports well informed, Caesar was highly trusted in making military decisions. He always stayed close to his troops. Despite the danger, the Roman commander wanted to connect directly with his army because he knew that meant a boost to his soldiers' morale. He ate, slept, and bled with them. This closeness to his men also allowed him to spot weaknesses and quickly make adjustments to correct mistakes. After taking control of the government, Caesar started a program of social and political reforms. He granted citizenship to many people in distant regions of the Roman Republic, initiated land reform, and provided support for veterans. Caesar always found ways to connect with those most important to him. Any success is somehow tied to people. There's no way around this in the modern world. If you want to become wealthy, learn to connect with others, especially those who can help and support you along the way. Express thoughts clearly. Caesar was an outstanding author and historian as well as a statesman. Much of his life is known from his own accounts of military campaigns. Like many other politicians and soldiers of the Roman Empire, he was an excellent orator. Caesar appeared impeccably dressed at the Roman Senate and addressed his soldiers and other leaders with fiery speeches. He had the ability to articulate his thoughts flawlessly and was able to convince the people of his ideas by using wide words and attractive language. He also knew how to choose his expressions. After a brief war with Pharnaces II of Pontus, Caesar had to write a report to Rome detailing his conquest. According to the Greek biographer Plutarch and Roman historian Suetonius, the commander simply wrote, "I came, I saw, I conquered." The phrase turned out to be so memorable that we still remember it centuries later. Do you have an idea that could potentially bring in a lot of money but need help? Or do you need to convince someone to buy your product? Knowing how to present information effectively is another key to a prosperous life. Perform complex and trivial tasks. In the Roman tradition, it was common to punish military deserters even if they were friends or relatives of the leadership. Caesar took on this difficult task personally. This served as an example to his men. He was ready to do what was considered the most challenging. As a dictator, he ruthlessly attacked and prosecuted former governors that had been involved in corruption and extortion. Caesar once wrote that, "In war, events of importance are the result of trivial causes." In that sense, his leadership had great precision, as the commander carefully thought through every detail before starting a battle, planned every move, and considered every element of the upcoming battle, no matter how insignificant it might seem. He personally selected each soldier for leadership roles in his legions based on his personal experience with them. Caesar did not lose any war that he participated in. As a commander, he understood that circumstances could change in an instant. Details are everything. Even seemingly minor actions like making your bed in the morning can impact your future financial success. And any complex task requires careful attention to detail, because your future earnings clearly depend on it. Stay alert. Caesar was not one to rest on his laurels. As a military leader, he always tried to anticipate the worst outcomes and be ready for them. He wrote, "The immortal gods are wont to allow those persons whom they wish to punish for their guilt sometimes a greater prosperity and longer impunity, in order that they may suffer the more severely from a reverse of circumstances." In other words, if you're on the path to victory, watch out. At some point it may feel like everything is going smoothly, working like clockwork and giving you the results you want. But constant vigilance is key to ensuring you don't lose focus and end up with everything falling apart. Resting on your laurels is never a good idea, because things can always take a turn for the worse. No matter how well things are going, wealthy and successful people always anticipate the worst outcomes. Maximize your potential. Roman soldiers were trained to use gladius, small pointy daggers that helped them conquer half the world. The legions, without two-handed swords or spears at their disposal, used solely this small weapon, light yet effective. Just like Caesar and his army, even the simplest and most accessible tools can lead you to success. Learn how to use them well and continue improving your skills to fully unlock your own potential and the potential of those around you. Create. Caesar said, "It is better to create than to learn." Creating is the essence of life. Before Julius Caesar invaded Gaul and made it a Roman province, it was mostly an unknown land that Rome had feared for centuries. He had a vision and turned it into reality. Like many great leaders, Julius Caesar thought outside the box. He saw what others thought impossible and made it happen. Modern leaders like Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, Henry Ford, and Walt Disney all focused on creation. Caesar's view can be debated. As to create something, you first need to gain certain knowledge. Ideally, combining these two processes will ensure that success follows quickly. Choose to be first. Some people are happy being second. Others are content with being in the top 5. Leaders don't fit into either category. They want to win and be number 1. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon and said the famous words, "The die is cast," he did it with the belief that he was destined to become the sole leader of the Roman Republic. He didn't do it because he wanted to follow others again, but because he believed he was meant to lead. Also, start small. Often to succeed, you need to be a big fish in a small pond. Caesar understood this. He managed to regain power even after losing his inheritance in a coup when he was young. According to Plutarch's Parallel Lives, the general made an interesting remark while passing through a small village in the Alps. "I had rather be the first man here than the second man in Rome." Stop settling for mediocrity. Don't hesitate. Decide to go for everything. Be bold, take risks, and aim for first place. Don't shy away from small beginnings, but always aim for the highest level of success. This is how the rich became rich. Build confidence. To be successful, you need confidence in your abilities. Caesar never struggled with that. This is highlighted by a remarkable event from the life of the great Roman. In his account of Caesar's life, Plutarch writes that in his youth, Julius Caesar was kidnapped by pirates who infested the Mediterranean Sea. When the pirates told him that they had set his ransom at the sum of 20 talents, he laughed at them for not knowing who it was they had captured and suggested that 50 talents would be a more appropriate amount. Caesar promised the pirates that once he was free, he would personally punish them. After the ransom was paid, he gathered a fleet, hunted them down, and did exactly that. Confidence is a vital trait for any successful person. The key is finding balance. On one hand, believe in yourself and do everything you can to reach your goals. On the other, don't just sit back and wait for things to happen on their own. Learn to adapt. Julius Caesar was a master of adaptation, known for changing his tactics and strategy as situations required. He understood that success often demands flexibility when circumstances change. Caesar's siege tactics were innovative and effective because he grasped the importance of both military strategy and psychological warfare. In his campaigns, Caesar often blended traditional siege methods with innovative approaches aimed at undermining enemy morale and breaking their will to resist. Julius Caesar's adaptability went beyond just military tactics and strategy. He was also a skilled politician and leader who knew how to navigate the complex world of Roman politics. He excelled at forming allegiances, negotiating treaties, and winning over the Roman people with his charisma and charm. Learn to adapt, develop a diverse set of skills, and be ready for any challenges you might face. Adapt when you realize it's necessary for your success. Stay open to new ideas and be ready for changes, experiments, and risks. Celebrate your achievements. Julius Caesar made sure everyone knew about his victories. He even wrote them down, creating works that became classics. You don't have to write a book like Caesar did, but it's important to learn how to share your accomplishments. By doing so, you solidify the steps you've taken, inspire those around you, and get fired up to keep moving forward. Stay humble, but don't forget to celebrate every small success and goal you reach. Find this simple thing at home or in an antique store, any antique coin. Carry it with you everywhere as a reminder of these important rules of Julius Caesar, because they will undoubtedly make you rich. I really hope this video motivates you to tackle new challenges and climb to greater financial heights. Hit that like button if you're up for it. Let's show how many of us are ready to build some serious wealth. This is the Money Channel. You will get richer.